Hey friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Stacy. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am going to BookCon. Just wanted to get on and give you guys an update on my BookCon prep. I really love that book, but I will give it a chance and see, Kindle. I downloaded Originality 5 out of 5. I am excited to share with you the newest book that I read. Yep. Oh my God. So BookCon is getting closer, and I'm trying to read at least one of the 13 authors that I own with these books, and I plan on meeting like a handful of them. And I don't, my thoughts are, if I'm in like the coffee line and I see like a famous author, I want to know who they are before I go. And like, maybe bumping shoulders with these people. So I'm like, let me just get accustomed or just see who these people are. I own some of these books, so let me read them. So it has been 1 week. And honestly, I've been reading a lot of books. And it's been a mix of wins and surprises and disappointments. But I have been reading. First, let's start with the good news. I read Tia Williams' book, The Perfect Find. This book is a romance. It is my comfort genre. I do love romance. I enjoyed the reading experience completely. It made me smile. It was fun. The dynamic of this book, it just was a solid romance book from start to finish. This is a solid start to BookCon to prep me for what I'm getting into. I do have another one of her books. It is 7 Days in June. And then I have the Love Song for Wiki Wild. I'm going to read those 2 books too. I don't know if I'm going to read it before BookCon because she is definitely going to get signed. Yeah. And I like that. Jenna Jones, 40 years old. She's a former It Girl fashion editor, is broke, desperate for a second chance. When she's dumped by her longtime fiance, fired from Darling Magazine, she's hired at an online fashion site by a publisher, her old, the arch nemesis, Darcy Val. But soon, Jenna realizes she's in over her head. She's working with the digital savvy millennial half her age, has never even twittered or pretend to still be a fashion somebody while living a style lie. Her designer wardrobe has been replaced by Walmart's finest. Worse, the 20-something videographer assigned to shoot her digital series is driving her crazy. Wildly sexy with a smile, Jenna feels her thighs. Eric Combs is off limits, but almost too delicious to resist. Will Jenna risk it all for her lusty secret romance with one person who could destroy her comeback for good? This book was a juicy page turner. I will say it's the ultimate beach read, but I read it. It's winter. And it reminded me so much of why romance is my comfort reading. It just felt good reading this book. This book, it came out in 2000. It's an older book. It's not even her newest one. This book came out in 2017. I'm guessing. Let me make sure. The copyright for this, 2016. So this one is up in the running to come to get signed at BookCon. That's book 1. I'm doing books, dropping books like crazy. All right, book 2. Book of the Night. Book of the Night is by Holly Black. It was not my favorite. It had confusing magic in this book. The plot was wandering. And the girl, her name was Charlie Hall. She was kind of hard to connect with. She had a sister named Posey. And I was just like, okay. I'm still glad that I read this book before BookCon. Even though it didn't, it didn't sit with me and fully come together before. But it wasn't awful. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And Yeah. So this book, the Book of Night, I love the cover of this book. So Charlie Hall, she has never found a lock she couldn't pick, a book she couldn't steal, or a bad decision she wouldn't make. She spent half her life working with the glomness magicians, I don't know if I'm saying that, who manipulated shadows to peer into locked rooms, strange people. Let me redo that. I'm tripping. Charlie Hall has never found a book. Redo. Charlie Hall has never found a lock she couldn't pick, a book she couldn't steal, a bad decision she wouldn't make. She spent half her life working for a glomness magician who manipulates shadows to peer into locked rooms, strangle people in their beds, or worse. Glomness guards their secrets greedily, creating an underground economy of glommeries and to rob their fellow magicians. They needed Charlie Hall. Now she's trying to distance herself from past mistakes, but bartending at a local dive, she's still entirely too close to corrupt underbelly of the beer shears. Not to mention that her sister Posey is desperate for magic, and that Charlie's shadowless and possible soulless boyfriend Vince has been hiding things from her. When a terrible figure from her past returns, Charlie descends into the maelstrom of murders and lies. Determined to survive, she's up against the cast, doppelgangers, billionaires, glomness, and the people she loves best in the world, all trying to steal her secrets that she will give them a vast and terrible power. See, this book was a struggle for me. I even did the audio of this book, and maybe it went over my head, but I just did not get into this book. Like how I was reading that synopsis in itself, I was struggling with this book. It felt like I didn't know. The words was just like jumbled, and it didn't flow. And I'm glad I read it before BookCon. I will read something else by her, hopefully before BookCon, along with Hill Williams. Hopefully I'll read something else from her before BookCon. But this one is not getting signed. So, no. This was a struggle. And I'm not even going to give my rating on the books. Just know, no. Now, my current book that I'm reading, If the Shoe Fits. So, I'm enjoying this book so far. It's easy, it's fun, it feels nice. It is a retelling of Cinderella. And it feels like a palate cleanser. I do want to meet this author. Her name is Julie Murphy. And she's a New York Times bestseller for that book, Dumpling. And also it's a show on Netflix starring Jennifer Aniston. I watched the show. I didn't read the book, Dumpling. But this book, it is very, very good. It's called If the Shoe Fits. And not to give anything away, she has a side character named Stacy, and she's black, and she has highlights in her hair, and it reminds me so much of myself. So whenever I do meet her in person, I'm gonna get her to sign this book and tell her I'm the Stacy that she wrote about. So if the shoe fits, so if the shoe doesn't fit, maybe it's time to design your own. The main character is a shoe designer. She is. So Cindy, hence off Cinderella. This is in the Meant to Be series too. So Cindy, she loves shoes, a well-placed bow, and a chic stacked heel is her form of self-expression. As a fashion-obsessed plus-size woman, she can never find designer clothes that work on her body, but a special pair of shoes always fits just right. With the shiny new design degree, but no job in sight, Cindy moves back with her stepmother, Erica Tremaine, the executive producer of the world's biggest reality dating show. When a slot on Before Midnight needs a filling at the last minute, Cindy is thrust into the spotlight. Showcasing her killer shoe collection on national TV seems like a great way to jumpstart her career. And while she's at it, why not go for a few lavish dates with an eligible suitor? I like that. But being the first and only plus size contestant on Before Midnight, She turns into a viral sensation and her body positive icon person overnight. Even harder to believe, she can't actually see herself falling for this Prince Charming to make it to the end, despite the backhanded comments and these conniving producers and a house full of fellow contestants she's not sure she can trust. Cindy will have to take a leap of faith and hope her heels and her heart don't break in the process. So this is a best-selling author, Julie Murphy. Reimagining the beloved fairy tale is an enchanting story of self-love and of believing a happy ending, and everyone of us deserves one. Okay, so I do love Cinderella's story. This one has been so refreshing for me, and I will say I'm in the middle of it, and I do plan on getting this book signed for BookCon. So of all the books, the 13 authors, I have read about like 5 of them. I did read his book, and we had our book club meeting with him, and he's going to be there, but I'm not going to bring this book to get signed. So these 2 are no-goes to BookCon. These 2 are 2 of the 5 that's going to be possibly signed at BookCon. And I just wanted to get on and reflect on my prep for BookCon and update y'all with the progress of where I'm at with my reading challenge that I'm doing for myself. And let me know if you read any of these books and if you recommend any of these authors' other books that I should read or prioritize before BookCon. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.